Okay, we're going to do a little exploration of the Olympia Airport Weather 23 data frame. So the first thing we have to do, of course, is the usual library stuff, tidyverse, and then we do a glimpse of OAW 23, and yeah, everything looks cool. So use the data to consider the possibility that weather in Olympia has been getting warmer. And at this point, you should pause the video and think about how you're going to do this, and then come back and restart the video when you're ready. Okay? Okay, you're back. So let's look at the way I did that. Well, the first thing I did was just to do a scatter plot with year on the x-axis and temperature maximum on the y-axis, gm underscore point, and I also did a gm underscore smooth, and I don't see anything here. And then I did a correlation coefficient of these two variables, and 0.016, that's essentially nothing but garbage. Okay, so no, I don't see any evidence for global warming in this data frame. There's something a little bit peculiar here between 1941 and about 1945. It appears that the weather was kind of cooling off. And it's been flat since then. But over the long run, there's no correlation. Okay? Okay, so compare the weather for today, February 15th, when I wrote this thing, with the weather 1 month ago and 1 month in the future. And again, we've come to a point where you should pause the video, stop, carry out this analysis, and then come back and restart the video again and look at the way I did it. Okay, you're back. Let's look at the way I did it. So I created a data frame called 3 days, which starts with OAW23 and then filters for a month in January, February, or March, and day is 15. So here are the 3 days, and I did a side-by-side box plot where X is month and Y is Tmax. Okay, and then we get this. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, from January to February, the median temperature went up, and from February to March, the weather is going to get better, going to get warmer, so it went up again. And here's a look at the precipitation. Note that most of the precipitation data is kind of scrunched down into the lower part of the frame because of the existence of outliers. Okay, but you can see from January to February, it looks like the precipitation went up a little bit, and then from February to March, it looks like the median precipitation went down a little bit. Not a whole lot of big changes going on there. And here I've actually got the data to look at. I've calculated the mean precipitation for each of the months and the mean of the Tmax for each of the months. And I can see that in January, our average temperature, our average maximum temperature was 45.1. It's not a whole lot different in February. It went up to 48.6, and then in March it's going up 48.6 to 53.4. That's quite a lot. It's going to be noticeably different. You might not notice the difference here, but I think you will notice the difference here. And yeah, the rain is it's gonna about get cut in half in March, although the rain was actually worse in February than it was in January. But it's going to get cut in half next month. Okay, so let's see what else we can do. Let's do that kind of comparison for the the 15th of every month. That is, we'll trace out the pattern of weather for the 15th of every month. Okay? So again, at this point, pause the video, stop, do the analysis, and then come back and look at what I've done. See if I did something similar to what you did. Okay, you're back, so let's take a peek again. So the 15th is OAW 23, and then we just filter for day equal 15. And then I take that data frame and I do a GG plot with month on the x-axis, y on the Tmax on the y-axis, and I'm doing a side-by-side box plot. And here we see the pattern. So if you look at the Tmax comparison, it's up, 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 flat, down, 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 down. You know, there are more ups than there are downs, which in a way means that it's slower growing, and then it declines rapidly. Okay, and let's look at the precipitation values. You can see these patterns are not quite so distinct, although you can see that you have almost nothing in June, July, and August. Picks up a bit in September, and really gets big in November and December. Okay, and then here are the actual data values for all the months. And if you look, here's from January to February, we go up about 3 degrees. From February to March, we go up about 5. March to April, about another 5. Then from April to May, that's a big change, about 8. Not much change for June. Then a pretty good change into July. We're up to 77. Basically the same for August. Then it starts dropping. Into September, that's a pretty good healthy drop from August to September. And again from September to October, another 8% drop. There's the really big drop between October and November. It drops about 12 degrees. And then again, from November to December, we drop about 5 degrees in maximum temperature. And you can see the pattern also, you can see it over here. These 2 months, January and February, about the same for rain. It gets cut in half in March, a little bit down in April. May is about the same as April. Then it gets cut in half in June, cut in half again in July. And then the rain starts picking up a bit, doubles basically between July and August. And big change between August and September. And then not much of a change from September to October. But then you get another doubling between October and November. And then it's basically the same for December. Okay? So that is the story of the weather in Olympia, Washington for an entire year.